Is there a relationship between students' quiz averages in a course and their final exam scores in the course? We're going to be using the 5-step hypothesis testing procedure to address this research question. I'm using the exam.mtw dataset. We have 2 quantitative variables, and we're interested in studying the relationship between the two, so we're going to be using Pearson's R correlation coefficient. Step 1 of the 5-step hypothesis testing procedure for Pearson's R is to check assumptions and write hypotheses. The assumptions are that both variables are quantitative and that there's a linear relationship between the two. To check for a linear relationship, I'm going to construct a scatter plot. In Minitab Express, I'll go to Graphs and Scatter Plot. Simple. And it doesn't matter which variable you put on the X or Y axis. All we're looking for here is that there's a linear relationship between the two variables, or at least not a non-linear relationship. Here, the trend between final exam scores and quiz averages is linear in nature, so this assumption has been met. Now we can write our hypotheses. We want to know if there's some relation between the two variables. We're not given a direction. This is going to be a two-tailed test. The null hypothesis is that rho equals 0. In other words, in the population, the correlation equals 0. This means that there's no relationship between the two variables in the population. The alternative hypothesis is going to be rho does not equal 0, because recall this is a two-tailed test. Step 2 is to calculate the test statistic. In Minitab Express, I'll go to Statistics, Correlation, Correlation. And again, it doesn't matter which order you enter the variables in. The correlation between quiz average and final is R equals 0.608630. Step 3, determine the p-value. P is less than 0.0001. Step 4, make a decision. Our p-value is less than the standard 0.05 alpha level, so we reject the null hypothesis. And step 5, state a real-world conclusion. We rejected the null, so there is evidence of a relationship between students' quiz averages and their final exam scores in the population.